See, usually angels, when come in at like 5, 10, $15 million valuations. Micro VCs around that time as well. The early stage VCs like ourselves today are coming in at 10, 15, 20 million. But actually, rather than exiting, we actually think of doubling down on them. So that's the beauty of venture. There's a power law in action. There are very large companies going to get formed. There are a handful. When you get a sense that this could be one of them, you actually want to double down and average up. Unlike the stock market where you think you'll average down, in venture you average up. So I'm actually playing as late as Series A, B, sometimes even Series C, into the $100 million range. So where's the question of exiting before that? I'm playing, I'm in, I'm doubling down. In stake terms, I might not get as much, but in dollar terms, I'm actually putting $3, $5 million checks sometimes late into the game. And then there's the late stage folks who are entering only at that point. So there's no question of them taking secondaries before the company is closer to going public or closer to getting acquired. So what we've noticed, therefore, is if people say, hey, did you take a secondary before 100 million? It's not usually applicable for micro VCs, VCs, and late stage VCs. It's only applicable for angels. And then when the company is hovering between that 75, 100 million and the 250 to $500 million mark, micro VCs have made a lot of money relative to their fund size. So our rule of thumb generally has been that, if you're making about 10% of your fund back, it's a good exit to take. And so you might have your best position at 30 or 40% of your fund value, and you might say, hey, let me take 10% of it out and keep the other 20, 30% going. So also what's kind of not known, but almost preponderant in the industry is basically about 90% of exits are partial exits, right? They're not full exits. Everybody takes out all the money up at one shot. It's usually in 2 or 3 phases, and that's inevitable. So then the micro VCs start thinking about some exits, partial exits between 75 and 500 million. They also potentially can fully exit before 500 million. Whereas the VCs, the early stage VCs, don't usually rush out before the company at least reaches 250 to 500 million. And then from that point onwards, it's not very common that you find a lot of companies in your portfolio start looking like multi-billion dollar outcomes. So you would take more money off the table. And for a $100, $200 million fund, getting $10, $20 million at a 500 million to a billion means you're selling 2, 3, 4, 5% of the company. And that's probably anywhere between 25 to 50% of your ownership. So if you're reaching close to fund life, the math suddenly changes. So there's pressure to be able to get more as close to capital back as you're reaching your fund life. So what then happens is there's tremendous investor pressure to say, yaar, mera 100 rupees, my $100 I need to get back. And so you recognize that by doing a part sale, even at 200 million, you can give them 20% or 30% from a single investment. So you tend to sell. So closer to the fund life, which is the 8, 10, 12-year period, you don't wait for these part exits or perfect valuations. You start exiting faster. And that's how the secondary market works. Hi, this is Karthik Reddy. I'm one of the co-founding partners at Blume Ventures. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for some wonderful content we're bringing to you.